What's up, everybody? Welcome back again for a continuation, part two. Because my boy Zenray from Zenray Sports TV froze earlier today. So he wanted me to come on here again, continue what we had, speak about what we had earlier. Salute to you guys. Good evening. Hope you guys had a beautiful Sunday, and I hope you're ready for the Monday blues. But let's get right to it again. Knicks lost to the Lakers last. Feels like I did this already. They lost to the Lakers yesterday, led by LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and company. They actually won the game, and I'm sorry. I should have been a little bit more prepared because they lost 122 to 115 in overtime. They led the majority of the way until the third quarter when Malik Monk caught fire. And Coach Frank Vogel made an adjustment to coaching because Russell Westbrook was getting booed out of Staples Center, out of Los Angeles. And he decided to bench him and brought Malik Monk. And the rest is history. The Knicks tried to come back in the fourth quarter. R.J. Barrett hit a three-point shot to go into overtime. But Evan Fournier with a bonehead tried to save the ball from a tip out, from a jump ball, threw it into the Lakers' hands, and the rest is history. Salute to you guys. Appreciate you guys. If you guys come on here again, like I said, we did an early show, but we had some audio and computer technical difficulties with my partner Zenray from Zenray Sports TV. So let's get him in here because he's the reason we're on here right now. And let's finish up what we started, ladies and gentlemen.
Of Juby, welcome. We're talking about the nice words that LeBron James had for Barrett after the game that he scouted. They were scouting Barrett back in the day when LeBron was with the organization. Was mentioning about also Julius Randle. So we have a lot of things to talk about, and even quickly the minutes he was not getting before we got frozen in our last show. So welcome, Juby, and thanks for your patience.
Absolutely. Good evening, Galees. Zenray Sports TV. I hope your guys ready to go, rock and roll. I feel like this is the Matrix right now. We're doing another take. I'm seeing here. I got the same clothes on, same hat, but let's get right to it, guys. So tell me, Zenray, what was LeBron James' nice words that he had to say?
LeBron was just saying that this is a guy who's been playing with the Knicks, and it's not an easy task playing for a big market team and having such a great year last year in terms of the team, and then coming down and handling the situation good. I don't know if that's a parting shot to Julius, like saying, hey, Julius, learn from Barrett because he's been a trooper all along. And also how, they were looking, the scouts were looking at him in Duke back in the day, looking to draft him or pick him up. They knew that they didn't have a chance for him, or maybe they moved up and got him, but they were getting, LeBron's input on him. And they said, this kid is eventually going to be a good player and turn out to be a star. And he just had some nice words to say to him after the game as well. He passed encouragements, and Barry was being humbly nice, thanking LeBron to give him the opportunity to play with him. Because actually the first time they played, because last year when they did play the Lakers, LeBron wasn't there. He was injured. And this is actually the first time. And I think Barrett did a great job in trying to defend him and getting the experience, because you want to play the best. And LeBron, obviously, in our eyes, he is the best in the NBA. And that's about it. That's if the interview is you can KTV has it, and you can KFTV. They have the interview there on YouTube. You can listen to it. I'll leave it up my link as well. You can see it. But listen, if you have Barrett played the way he played last night, and the way Julius played last night, selfless and getting the team together. Yes, they came up short, but if the team come collectively, but you made some good kind of observations, just say, before I was frozen and got kicked out and booted out from our previous show this morning, that we have questions of why quickly only played 5 minutes. I don't know if you want to put your 2 cents back in that situation, because I have doubts myself.
Yeah, it was just crazy. Like I said, we were talking about it earlier. Last night I was looking at the game. I was looking up news. Did Emmanuel quickly get hurt while I went to the men's room? Or when I grabbed a drink, did I miss something? Because quickly only played 5 minutes. There's no excuse for that. Excuse me, I'm babbling here. Coach Frank Vogel, 100% outdueled and outcoached Tom Thibodeau. In the league, in the NBA, it's all about rolling and changing. You always come in with a game plan, but if things don't work out, you have to be able to make adjustments and changes, and that's what Frank Vogel did yesterday. Russell Westbrook was getting booed out of Staples Center. They wanted him out. He couldn't hit a shot. He was 1 for 9 at one point, and they were gonna lose the game. And what did Frank Vogel do? He injected Malik Monk, a young kid, because he's still fairly young, and nobody in their right mind could have told me, like I said earlier, that you would have sat there and said Malik Monk is going to have a great game today, because Malik Monk is just a good, solid player. Nobody expected him to have the third quarter he did. And that's exactly what he did. If it was not for him and LeBron James, the Lakers would have not won that game. And if it wasn't for Frank Vogel making the adjustment and realizing that this kid is not getting it done, Westbrook, let's bench him. And look what happens. It turns out they win the game. Now, on the Knicks' point of view, it's the opposite end. I mean, the starters played a great game. R.J. Barrett, Mr. Broadway himself, like we like to call him, phenomenal game. Julius Randle, great, fantastic game. Definitely playing for something and showing us that he does want to be here. That maybe, like we said, that somebody went to his ear and basically told him probably that, you're blowing it. You're blowing a chance of a lifetime to be the man in New York and start a foundation, a culture, and maybe that's why he's playing the way he's playing now. Everybody played collectively good from the starting point, with the exceptions of a couple, but
Right.
the flabbergast, the eye opener to me was Emmanuel Quickly. 5 minutes. The man who can get hot in a matter of 2 minutes in any quarter. You've seen him score 11, 12 points in under 5 minutes. You did not inject him, and you only played him for 5 minutes.
Hey, I totally agree with that. I mean, playing 5 minutes is unacceptable. If you look at Walker's numbers, 24 minutes with 7 points, and you look at Westbrook numbers, 29 minutes with 5 points, they kind of evened out in that sense of it, in terms of the playing time and not having out. But see, the difference between Walker and Westbrook is, like, Frank Vogel decided to take Westbrook out, because if he would have left Westbrook in, the chance of us winning this game was high. By you leaving Walker more time than it was, and not having Quickly or Grimes come in, or just say Quickly because he's your point guard, or your next point guard in line with Burks, you just told Frank Vogel, I'm going to stick with my guy Kemba. And like we mentioned, Kemba had a propping device for his knee, like he was going to go to war in Terminator 3, the movie.
T1000, Judgment Day.
Exactly. You knew his knee was bad. I never seen a contraption, so I've never seen that an NBA player. I don't know if that was his walking boot or a knee brace. It looked like a knee brace for me, but I don't understand it. You knew that his knees, he's not capable to guard any NBA player, no one, not even the ball boys that are in the arena. So I don't understand why Quickly wasn't in the game. But I'm thinking Quickly is in Tom Thibodeau's doghouse, and I think just Thibodeau, the last few games, he's trying to make a point with Leon Rose, trying to say, I'm going to play the guys you're giving me. I have no point guard, to force his hand to make a trade that he doesn't want to do. Leon Rose plays chess. He doesn't play checkers when he's dealing with other, NBA, presidents and dealing with players and dealing with making trades. If this is the old Knick regime, we probably would have pulled the trigger on a trade we'll probably regret later on. So I don't know what's going on with the communication. This is not the way Tibbs should be coaching. And Tibbs, I think right now, is playing his hand by saying, I'm going to play with the best players I think are out there. So he's benching Quickly, he's benching Grimes. He's giving Obi Topping, which is usual, no playing time at all. I could understand that he wants to win, but sometimes you have to try to outdo the other coach when he does moves. You have to counter the moves as well. Not playing Mitchell Robinson at certain minutes, certain times of the game, and having Nerlens Noel there kind of baffle me as well. So it's a lot of things to talk about when it comes to that. But I think if the Knicks unit played that first half of basketball that they played against the Lakers, not the second half had a lot to do with the old Knicks, with the miscoaching and the whole team being in disarray and having. Look, overall, the whole team had a good, solid game. Kemba Walker quickly didn't get the time of day. Grimes didn't look good in those 15 minutes. Noel Noel, he was okay, but he wasn't the greatest. That's why Mitchell Robinson, if you had to play him 40 minutes, I would have loved to have seen him 40 minutes on the court. And Topping was non-existent in the 12 minutes and not really be given the opportunity to show what he has. So there's a lot of decisions that Leon Rose and Thibodeau have to come together collectively soon, because it seems, I think Randall, let's just cross our fingers, that he's got the message from a mentor or somebody in a higher power to tell him, you have an opportunity of a lifetime to be the king, or let's say the guy at the Mecca of the world in basketball at Madison Square Garden. So let's not blow the opportunity. You have a great opportunity in front of you. And he showed the whole game. He showed the whole game with 32 points, and he had his 16 rebounds. He had 7 assists, 2 block shots. He had 5 turnovers, but I'll take that anytime. Those stats consistently when he was hustling and throwing his body around. This is the Julius Randle we need, Juby.
Yeah. He was high-fiving his teammates.
Yes.
He was diving for the ball. He wasn't arguing with the refs. He wasn't arguing with nobody. He was locked in, ready to roll, loaded. It was a Julius Randle from last season that I saw yesterday. But I guess Julius Randle just doesn't like to play in front of Madison Square Garden because I feel like he always excels on the road. But let's hope that's not true. And as far as Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau, listen, they gotta have a sit down this week, and I'm pretty sure they have. They gotta have a sit down and say, listen, what's our game plan here? What are we gonna do? We all know that Kemba Walker, he's not gonna be with the club, if either a buyout or for a trade for a second rounder. Like I mentioned earlier, we hearing about a Gordon Dragic move somehow to New York. Is that the answer? No, but it's definitely better than a Kemba Walker. But for me personally, I think Leon Rose got to talk to Tom Thibodeau and tell him, listen, you got to experiment a little bit, my friend. It's like when you're cooking in the kitchen, you taste the food and you're adding seasoning and different spices, and you may try a different thing. You may throw in a little bit something different this time just to spice things up. And you know what? You got a young point guard who's sitting there in the G League, destroying the G League. Why are you not utilizing this guy? Because he messed up 3 games, 1 or 2 games in Toronto when given a starting position. He didn't do well. He's a young kid. Kids are going to do that, but you have to mentor them, let them learn from their mistakes, and don't crush their how you call it, their drive. Like, he probably feels confidence. Thank you. He probably feels right now that, listen, I got a lot to learn. I'm not ready to play yet. That's why they don't have me playing. And that's not how a player should think. Look what Quentin Grimes said, and I'm going to use him as a perfect example. Quentin Grimes said when he got here, he was told that Tom Thibodeau don't play rookies. He said, I'm going to make him play me. That's what Quentin Grimes said, and I quote, I'm going to make him play me. I'm going to show him that he needs to play me. So with that mindset, he's ready. He doesn't have, look what he did tonight, on Saturday, he, no points, 15 minutes, 4 rebounds, but still played defense and still got minutes. So you need to have that mentality. But it's like I said, McBride and Obi Toppin, I feel like their ego, their confidence goes up and down, especially with Tom Thibodeau. And you gotta sit there and kind of embrace the talent that you have on your team, Nick Nation. We got a decent team. Like I said, is Gordon Dragic the answer? Maybe short term, maybe for this year, along with Derrick Rose, that might help. I don't know if that's a long-term goal. I don't know if the Darren Fox thing is still there, if we can pull it off without giving up Julius Randle. These are all questions. The last thing I heard is that Detroit is interested in Mitchell Robinson, and I say, hail to the no. Do not trade that man under no circumstances. Even if Zion Williams called me right now and said, give me Zion for Mitch, because
And
Zion Williams hasn't played no game this year and he's like
yeah.
65 pounds over his weight limit, I would not do that trade.
Well, let me just tell you, you made a great analogy with the chef in the kitchen, whatever. But let me just tell you, Tibbs is no Gordon Ramsay, and this looks like Hell's Kitchen
Oh yeah.
because I mean, there's a lot of confusion going on here because Frank Vogel is a good coach, but when he makes moves like this, his job is on the line in LA. If they don't win these games and get this team back, because they're not far from being off the playoff race. I think they're right there. So they want to get in because when you have a superstar with LeBron James and you have Anthony Davis, uh,
And Westbrook and Carmelo.
exactly. Carmelo didn't play, but I'm saying you have a lot of good players there that can move the team. So Frank Vogel is in the hot seat, and I think there would have been some changes, if they didn't win these next upcoming games because All-Star break is here. They'll be looking for another coach in the meanwhile because that's the Lakers style. Get this guy out, bring another coach because you have coaches on the floor with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, so they can win their own games. The Knicks don't have that luxury, and that's why that chef analogy and that kitchen analogy is great because the Knicks kitchen is Hell's Kitchen right now, and Tom Thibodeau right now ain't no Gordon Ramsay because he's not putting the right dishes together because he's not making changes. He's not making substitutions correctly. Robinson should have been more. Walker should have played definitely less. And then your point guard, you're exactly right. Right now, if you didn't want to put quickly, take a chance by putting McBride in there. Do something to spark the team up. Do something. I said, McBride is killing the G League, like you mentioned. He really has nothing to prove. McBride is just looking for your approval and your confidence in him. Go get him, kid. And believe me, he's not going to go there score, but he's going to get the right players in the right areas. But the only thing I don't think they've been practicing with the first team, McBride is an intelligent young man. Look, Grimes, you gave him a chance. He learned while he was playing. McBride will do the same thing. But he decided to go with Burks and Walker. Burks had 30 minutes and Walker had 24. That's 54 minutes combined in 2 point guard. One experienced, but with no legs, and one non-experienced who kind of doesn't know how to position the players on the team. And he's more of a shooter. He's more of a shooting guard, And he plays other positions, but point guard is not the type of position that, Alec Burks is going to lead a team, especially down the final minutes and even in overtime for a win. And that's where the confusion. We only scored 4 points in overtime.
Crazy.
It's something that the Knicks have to make changes. And Juby, it's a lot of talk. I'm just happy that Randall got his head straight and that Barrett is breaking out of his shell. Has to be Barrett's best year so far, per se. And Randall, I just want to say a little note about Randall. Randall lost $6 million for not making any. They make even the second unit of the All-Star team. He didn't make that first unit. Last year, he made that second unit. If he would have gotten to All-Star team in either one of those units, he would have had a $6 million bonus. So when they questioned him, asked him about it, he kind of numbed his head. That's not important. The team is important. Yeah, but you lost $6 million in your pocket. If you played a little harder, and kind of just devoted yourself to the team. But I don't think money right now was important to him. I think he's going through a lot of, kind of issues within himself and mindset. But if he gets the mindset the way he played last night, Juby, this is the Julius Randle we've been looking for. They gave him 41 minutes. And I'm saying 40 minutes he played and grind through all those 40 minutes. And I was pleased to see what he did.
Yeah. He played, like I said, he played like he had something to prove. And
Right.
Every night he should play like that, which was great to see him play. RJ Barrett, like I said, played hard too. You could tell that he's coming a long way. He's maturing. He's ready to embrace that lead role of this team. And who knows if Julius Randle gets it together and does what he does, the offense can still run through RJ Barrett as Julius Randle as your secondary. You don't have to be the primary scorer, Julius Randle. As long as you can work together well with RJ Barrett, and if we get a legitimate point guard who can spread that floor, that's why, like I said, I know I keep mentioning Gordon Dragic, and we're kind of like, he's old, he's a veteran. He played with Miami, but he did play with Miami. He is experienced. He has a top of the key 3-point shot. And if you look at his career averages, Kemba Walker right now is not even a half of that player that he is. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to bash Kemba Walker because he was such a talented scorer. But it's a shame to see what injuries can do to you. But listen, if Gordon Dragic can give me 6 points and 7 assists, and he can be your starter, and then Derrick Rose can come in and take over. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, the man that we desperately miss,
Right.
us fans and including the Knicks, the Knick Nation and players, they miss Derrick Rose. And from what I'm hearing, he's coming back right after All-Star break. Might be a little bit rusty when he comes back. Don't expect him to be the man when he first comes out. But it'll be nice to see him on the floor, and I'm pretty sure that'll give a lot of confidence to Obi Toppin and Emmanuel Quickly, because they love playing with him because the man sees the court, and that's what the Knicks are missing. They're missing a point guard who can see the court at all angles and get everybody in their right spots.
Yeah, I agree. That's the shot in the arm I think the Knicks need. That's the B12 shot of energy that we need, because that's what he brings into that second unit. He makes Topping play better. He quickly, everybody in that second unit thrives off Derrick Rose leadership. And that's something, when you talk about leadership, unfortunately, Julius Randle don't have those traits yet. Barrett is starting to have those traits. But the true leader, the leadership that we thrived on last year to get us where we got. Remember, when we made that trade, we took off when we got Rose. So he's the leader. He's the experienced general that you need on the floor. And too bad he had 2 bad knees, because he could have been that starting general that we've been looking for. So you look at LeBron James last night. He had a triple-double, 29 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists. He comes back after missing 5 games with some knee swelling, and he came back, thunderous. And James went 13 for 24 from the field. He tied a season high in rebounds. 13 rebounds. And he led the Lakers in the 5-minute overtime after James drove down the floor and dunked on R.J. Barrett. It was his 4th triple-double. So, look, you don't need Westbrook to do all these triple-doubles because you have a king in L.A. and LeBron James that's doing that. And that was his 103rd of his career. Wow. And his fifth against the Knicks in triple-double. So he loves playing against the Knicks. Malik Monk, we forget about him, or we didn't forget about him. 29 points, and Anthony Davis added 28 points and 17 rebounds for the hometown Lakers. Remember, you said it in our previous show, or the show that I kind of got disconnected for. Malik Monk, if you hold Malik Monk to have those points, there's no reason why Malik Monk should be scoring 29 points. Your perimeter defense was really, really bad. And that starts with Kemba Walker and, unfortunately, Evan Fournier, who is a weak link to our defensive part. Listen, you can part with one bad defensive player, you start in a lineup, but when you have 2, that's why you're giving up 122 points, in a game. Barrett scored a season high, career high, 36 points, and Julius Randle had 32 points and 16 rebounds. The Knicks lost 8 out of the last 10 games. That's never an easy pill to swallow when you lose 8 out of 10. But hopefully now you have a tough road trip of 4 more games. And I think we play against the Utah Jazz Monday night at Utah. That's a tough game. And the Lakers will be hosting Milwaukee on Tuesday night. That's going to be a great game, Giannis versus LeBron. That'll be a game on the NBA channel that I'll be seeking out to look at. That's a great game where LeBron and Giannis play together. So the Knicks lose 122 to 115. Juby, I don't know what else to say. We'll go into box scores here.
I just want to say that I really just hope they don't trade Cam Reddish. Like, I know that's not in the game plan, but I've been hearing little pitter patters, and that Cam Reddish is not Tom Thibodeau's kind of player. That Cam Reddish might be used for a bigger trade chip, whether it's now or in the near future. Like, when you hear stuff like that, it's, you know what I mean? It makes you just question the direction that management is going. I hope management is going into the direction that we've been wanting, is to make this young guys play, surround them with good talent, and let's move forward, man. Let's not take a step back and trade the house for one player.
You made a good point there about Cam Reddish. I think that's a Leon Rose thing. I think Leon Rose sees this vision of the Knicks playing with an athletic guy who can be better than RJ Barrett, because RJ Barrett is not athletic, but you can see RJ Barrett eventually playing the four, eventually, that's how strong he is, but he's growing to be strong. He's only 21 years of age, and I think Cam Reddish, if given the opportunity, could be better. Think about it, better. Because he's a slasher, he's athletic. He is now like a Dwayne Wade. And
Latrell Sprewell comparison is what I've been getting from a lot of people.
Exactly, and I think that's where the division is at, and that's where I can see Thibodeau being replaced sometime, probably not next year, but the following year, because he's not seeing eye to eye. Leon Rose has a vision. Thibodeau has his, I want to play veterans. So you have to get veterans and trade veterans from him to feel comfortable. When Leon Rose is setting up a nice nest of young, youthful, talented players here, but Thibodeau refuses to play them. He's playing these veterans. He's trying to show back to Leon Rose, hey, you got me, Kemba. It's no good. I'm playing Fournier, okay? He doesn't play defense. Look, Thibodeau wants a defensive player, and he believes out of the defense you can get offense. His offense is not the main point for Thibodeau. He just wants a defense and a point guard that can drive to the basket. He'll take that anytime. While Leon Rose wants to build a nice 5-man starting rotation that have different type of talents, that one can drive, one can shoot, one can muscle. He wants complementary players. And Thibodeau wants the same thing, but he wants them in veterans. And see the vision we're having here, because you made a great put for Cam Reddish. Why get Cam Reddish here if you're not going to play him? That's why I still see a trade coming. I see Burks, I hate to say Fournier, and Kemba gone. I think right now Julius Randle kind of solidify how he played yesterday. I think he's still there. Look, teams are seeing that he scored 32 points, and when his mind is right, he is the all-star. He's not a superstar, but he is an all-star. So there's a lot of things going on, Juby. I don't know, but I'm looking at the three-point shooting last night. The Knicks and Lakers were pretty bad. The Knicks had 28%. They were 26. From the field, we were 39, and they were better. The Lakers were 47. We shot 72 from the free throw line. They shot 60. They out-rebounded us by 1 rebound, and they had 29 assists, Juby, and we only had 24.
Wow.
And then turnovers of almost about even. We had 14. They had 13. They had 20 off our turnovers. We had 18. And we had 25 to 17. And fast break points, they doubled it almost on us. We had 48, and they had 72 fast. It shows you our defensive transition is bad. And points in the paint, we beat them by 3, 26 to 23. And our largest lead was 21.
21.
Their largest lead was 9. We just blew the game toward the end. We made a comeback because of RJ Barrett. If it wasn't for RJ Barrett, we wouldn't be speaking about. We would be saying, "Wow, we got our hands handed to us." But RJ Barrett is the saving grace. And you put Julius and RJ together, we're fine. We just need a point guard. We've been saying that for how long? Since the draft. When we did our first draft together, that's what we've been talking about. We need a point guard.
Yeah, for our French Prince in Dallas is lighting up over there. I've been watching highlights of him, and I get so upset when I see these highlights. Him hitting 3-point shots, blocking, dunking, sending game into overtime, and then I look at Kemba Walker and I say, "Damn, we should have kept Frank." It's great.
Frank would have never got the opportunity here. At least over there, the coaches gives guys opportunity. If you work hard in practice, here, it's just like Tom Thibodeau. I don't think he learned something from the years, or maybe he did. He just has his mindset of having his type of players. And thank God that he has a RJ Barrett, and thank God he has a Julius Randle. You just have to find that point guard, and that's something that Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau have to come together. Are we going to make a trade? Are we going to trade Fournier and Burks and get a point guard here and Kemba Walker? I don't know, but the only thing I'm saying, do not bring Westbrook here. If you do a trade of that with Westbrook, we have to eat it and do it. But where are you going to get your scoring? Imagine having Fournier, Barrett, and Randle as your threat, as your scoring threat on the team. The only thing out of those three is one player really doesn't play defense. That's Fournier. That's the issue you have. But you can afford having one defensive player in that lineup. But when you have two, we're not playing defense, we're going to get torched every night, Juby.
Listen, at this point, I would call Sacramento and say, listen, I know you guys want Julius. What else can we work that doesn't include a Julius? Can we offer you two number ones? Evan Fournier, Obi Toppin. I'll even throw Obi in there. And I don't even know, man. Just something else to get Fox here with Julius and RJ Barrett, because that'll be a freaking team to be reckoned with. And that's the kind of point guard that Tom Thibodeau would want. But unfortunately, I don't think that's the case. We could possibly, like I said, we could possibly have that kind of point guard who's been collecting dust at the end of our bench. He's doing it up in the G League, but he's not getting no time of day because that man drives the ball, he dunks the ball, passes the ball, and can shoot the ball. But does he get time of day? No. Why? Because Tom Thibodeau is stuck in his own ways, and I said it before, and I'll say it again. He's lost in the sauce.
Look, you're right about that. Thibodeau is not going to play rookies. He's not this type of style. If it's up to him, he'll trade all the rookies and he'll get veterans back. He's a win now coach. And unfortunately, Leon Rose should have known that and got a young coach in here who can work with the young guys and build them up. If you would have done that, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And the Knicks will probably be 2 or 3 games over 500
Patrick Ewing should have been my coach, man. Ewing should have gotten the head coaching position right now. We all would have been happy because why, he would have been working with Mitchell Robinson in an inside game, and he would have been working with Julius Randle, and he would have played the young guys, man. I'm telling you, we should have grabbed Patrick Ewing. But
yeah, that's for another day, another discussion. Juby, I just want to thank you for your patience. Juby is the maestro in fix computers, man. So if you ever need somebody help you get your computer running correctly, he got me. In the beginning of the show, we had problems. The audio went out, and then when I started the show, my video went out. So it's a lot of situations. I want to apologize.
Guy gave me a heart attack, ladies and gentlemen. I thought that he was having an aneurysm or something. I'm looking at him, and he's just.
But I want to thank you, Juby, for your patience, and I want to thank you guys from your station, Family Above Everything, Sports Talk, for having the patience. But we'll be on again on Monday, and we'll be playing the Utah Jazz. That's going to be a tough game at Utah. The next 4 games, if we play the way we played in that first half, we have a shot at winning all those games, Juby. I don't know what else you want to say before we depart.
How do you feel about doing either a Tuesday or a Thursday play-by-play? That might be a little bit treat for our viewers. I don't know if you're up to that. It's a West Coast swing right now. That's something that we've never done together. If you guys want to leave your comments down below, that'll be a nice little feedback for us on both of us, or either him or my channel. Just let us know. Like I said, we could come on here. We can run play-by-play while we're watching the game. I don't know if he's up to that. We could give our analysis on what's going on and have a few laughs, have a few drinks, virgin drinks, of course, no alcohol. But definitely something to look forward to. Just let us know, guys. I appreciate you guys for coming on here, even if it's just for a minute, 2 minutes. It's all appreciated. It means a lot to us. Like I said, we do this not because of money, not because of fame. We do it because we love the sport. We love to talk. We love to chat. And as always, we love New York.
Go New York. Go New York. Go. And I just want to say to never give up, Knick Nation, knowing that the best is yet to come. Always have that love, peace, and gratitude in your heart. Zen Ray out. Juby, thank you.
Later, my
have
brother.
a good evening.
You
your
too,
crew,
man.
Family Above Everything. Zen Ray out.
Peace.
Take care. Bye.
All right, guys, that was Zen Ray with Zen Ray Sports TV. Great guy. He didn't freeze this time. No glitches, no lags. He was good to go. And like I said, this was a part 2 of an earlier stream. Appreciate you guys who come and watch this video again. I apologize if it was the same song and dance all over again. We kind of try to flip it up a little bit, but you know how that goes. If you guys like what you see, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, hit that like button, hit that notification button to let you know about all things Knicks, and not only Knicks and sports. I also do gaming videos on here, me streaming. If you don't know, I have my streaming channel linked on my bio on YouTube here. You can catch me on Twitch. and on TikTok. It's all linked there. But yeah, guys, appreciate you stopping in, showing some love. Want you guys to enjoy your Monday. Don't try to be too blue. And as always, family above everything. Peace, guys.
We are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks.